kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome in, everybody, to Hotlanta. These guys are at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the big Enos Burdette Waffle Cone Makers 215. Last week, they put on a heck of a show at Daytona. This week, a little bit different, as we are not doing the Super Speedway setup. We're doing the original Atlanta, so these guys are definitely going to have to drive their cars. But I am Mike Damoni. Joined with me, as always, is Colin McDonough. Colin, man, how's it going, man?
It's going great, Mike. I'm stoked to be here at Old Atlanta to see some tires getting shredded. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Good to go back to the Old Atlanta. Jamie Lee Dunning and wound up winning the race at Daytona last week of the 300 miler they did then. Tristan Bailey was second. Adam Boughton back there in P3. Jordan Fisher and Michael York rounded out the top 5 there from Daytona. So the points after one race, leave little to the imagination there, as everybody's still trying to fight their way through. But Atlanta, like you said, it's going to be a track more for tires than fuel. Bring up the race info real quick. Race distance, 140 laps, 300 miles, 80% fuel. Fuel window, they're saying somewhere between 48 and 52 laps. No fast repairs this time, and only 4 sets of tires.
At current track temp, a relatively cool 72 degrees. So maybe heat won't be too much of a factor, but it is a rough surface, and it is not kind to the tires.
Yeah, definitely not. We got about a minute left. Looks like everybody has pretty much gone through and made their qualifying laps, and it looks like Tristan Bailey right now is sitting in the catbird seat up there in the pole position with a lap of 29:25. I'm not seeing anybody else. So we got 31 drivers who have signed on tonight. Look for tires to be the issue. I'd assume that if any chance they get, even 25, 30 laps in, they're probably going to want to come down and take advantage of fresh tires. It probably is going to be a two tire stop or something to that effect that might wind up being a green flag call.
Yeah, with 5 sets in the pits, the pace is really it's such a significant fall off when the tires fall off. So I think you're going to be, taking tires any chance you get. But it's a 140 lap race, so you can't just be frivolous with you gotta make sure there's one sitting for you late race.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like qualifying is over, and we are gonna head down to the track and go trackside here. Tristan Bailey is gonna be on the pole. These guys hurry up and get in here. Looks like Jordan Fisher, if I'm not mistaken, might be starting from the pits maybe. Oh, no, he jumped out. Okay. So some people might want to know what the difference is. So basically, the old Atlanta had less banking, and it kind of narrowed the racing surface a little bit. So they went from 24 degree, which is what we're racing now, to 28 degree to get that extra banking, and they decreased the front stretch from 52 feet to 40. So those are just some changes that they made as they were going here. And as we're rolling off, let's go ahead and go through the starting grid here. Tristan Bailey, Jordan Fisher going to start off in row 1. Row 2 is going to be Randy Meeks and Dwayne Furtick. Aaron Spear and Kent Mueller going to start off in row 3. Row 4, Chris Evans and Adam Boughton. Tyler Burden and Grant Applegate in row 5. Row 6, Evan Stewart and Christopher Howell. Jonathan Dominics and Derek Fulton make up row number 7. Row 8, Anthony Ludi and Alan Holtzman. Brian King and Pete Walsh in row 9. Row 10, Doug Denise and John Osborne. Michael York, Kane Lee. Gary Nash and Michael Carter make up row 12. And we're going to have to cut this short here. Douglas King, Ethan Brooks, Ryan McCall, and Christopher Roth. Aaron Miller and Tim Hammond make up row 15. Row 16 is last week's winner, Jamie Lee Dunning. Lights are out on the pace car. They are stacked and ready to go.
Mike, this is such a fun track. Just unforgiving surface. You can run a few different lines, so I think we're going to see a lot of movement, a lot of creativity, and a lot of pit cycle strategies in play.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of different strategies that you can take advantage of. The new Atlanta, not so much. I mean, it does seem to put on some pretty good racing in real life up here, but these guys wanted to go back old school and have the drivers drive, so that is where we're at. Pace car's going to make that left-hand turn, and we're going to be set to go here in the big Enos. Waffle Cone Maker 215, green flag is out, and we are racing. Ooh, Bailey gets loose on the start. Tristan Bailey spun his tires.
So easy to do here.
And that just gives the lead over to Jordan Fisher. Fisher driving away from the field here. Dwayne Furtick, Kent Mueller, and Chris Evans all able to take advantage of Tristan Bailey's little hiccup there at the start of the race. And Bailey's looking to make it 3 wide down on the bottom, trying to get those places back in a hurry. Applegate and
It looks
Bailey
like even
behind.
early on, Fisher is favoring the high line.
Yeah, definitely looks like he's staying up there right, almost right with the wall. Comes down a lane or two in the corners and then kind of goes right back out after 4. And I have a feeling that turn 4 is going to be where we probably will see more issues than not. Because that wall just kind of comes out there as you're trying to make your way to the front stretch there.
Yeah, I think anybody that's run this track on iRacing has had at least one encounter with that outside wall coming off of 4. One of those "who put that there" moments.
It's almost like they put that NASCAR Cup Series banner there just to cover up those lines. Tristan Bailey up to 4th now. We know that number 9 is quick.
Yeah, we know Bailey's got a lot of pace, but on the other hand, how much are you burning up your tires trying to make up that ground? We saw Bailey running the low line earlier. Maybe it was just to make the overtakes. Now going up to the high side.
Yeah, we're working lap number 6. And even in 6 laps, it looks like the fall off is almost a quarter of a second already.
It happens fast, Mike. It really does. And the field gets real spread out. And so, some of these drivers further back in the field, they're probably, minding their tires a little bit, and we might see them not have as much fall off later on in the stint.
You just see you guys kind of doing a little give and take there as we're starting lap 8. So as Jordan Fisher comes to the front stretch, we're going to go silent here on lap number 9 in memory of Kristen Bailey's grandfather here. So here we go. Fisher still just driving away from the field, has almost 3/4 of a second. It was out to almost a second there for a little bit, but Bailey has kind of switched back to that low line a little bit in the corners and has started to catch him. Applegate in 3rd with Burdette back to 4th.
Mike, don't look now. I don't want to jinx it, but Jamie Lee Dunning up 10 spots, sitting in P21 as of right now.
Definitely on the move. Well, drivers, I'm kind of not sure exactly what happens because we were watching the front here. Tyler Burdette down 13 spots. Aaron Spear down 19. So don't know if they kind of caught a little something there or kind of got backed up after Bailey spun his tires there early. But this back half of the field definitely looks like where the action is right now.
It is certainly heated back there. Some of these drivers might just be trying to find clean air, not necessarily looking to overtake, but just not have a car directly in front of them. Tire management's going to be huge. It looks like Jamie Lee Dunning is doing a phenomenal job of moving forward while also, keeping the life in the tires.
Yeah, I think that high line is going to be where you want to be to save your tires, but it seems like the low line is just a hair quicker as you see Tristan Bailey was making up a little bit of ground there, but looks like he went back out to the high line a little bit here, so he's lost a little bit of time as well.
Sometimes you can even shift your line as the run goes on. You pretty much adjust the tire temps side to side, front to back, whatever it may be. If the car is getting tight or loose, you can change the line that you're running to start moving the temperature between the tires that are getting too hot to the tires that are not quite as hot.
You see just everybody spread out pretty much all over the track when they're coming through the turns here. You got Kent Mueller, Dominic's, and Derek Fulton up there. Almost 3 wide.
And to me, Mike, this is what makes old Atlanta so good. The cars spread out all over the track.
Yeah, and And it's one of the tracks that you can. It's not as hard to pass at as some of the other ones. You know.
Yeah, 100%. You know, all of these lines work to some extent. If you can make it work for you, you can find pace in any one of these lanes. So it's not a single lane track. You can really run anywhere and be able to gain ground.
Tim Hammond, Gary Nash side by side for a little bit.
I've seen some of these drivers getting real comfortable running right up against the fence.
Let's see if we can jump on board here on the nose here, that 54. Just watch how close he kind of slides that outside wall there. Not staying up as much as he was the first few laps. Move that line down just a little bit through the corners.
Like Alan Holtzman up 12 spots from what I can see on timing.
Yeah.
Sitting P4 at the moment. It's a hard charge to the front.
Well, and this is one of those tracks where you're going to have people who elect to use their tires early, and then you have some that will kind of fall back through the field, and then all of a sudden, 30 laps in, here they come right back through the field.
Yep. Yeah, and on green flag pit stops, you're going to go down a lap. It is not a long running, roughly 30-second laps or so. It takes a while to get down pit road and get your tires changed, so you'll be off cycle for a while with some of the fresh tire runners.
Yeah, that is the weirdest thing with the new Atlanta and how long they made that pit entry. I mean, you can still go as fast as you want up until the actual pit entry, but this old Atlanta's not quite that bad. We have 3 drivers that have gained double-digit positions. Jamie Lee Dunning, Alan Holtzman, Kane Lee all up more than 10. Michael York and Derek Fulton both sitting up 8 at the moment. So
it looks like Aaron Spear down 21 spots, so not quite sure what happened to Aaron.
and bringing up the fastest 5 right now. The fastest 5 laps are all from people. Well, position 6, Derek Fulton, but now it's almost everybody outside the top 10.
It looks like things are getting spicy up at the front. Only about 0.3 of a second between first and second place of Jordan Fisher and Tristan Bailey. Tristan Bailey's done a phenomenal job recovering from that early wheel spin at the start.
Yeah, that was just crazy how fast that just... You kind of expect that on like older tires or something of that nature, but the initial start, that was crazy, and luckily he was able to avoid getting turned there, as everybody was able to check up. And now he is, reeled in Jordan Fisher again. I don't think Fisher's really minding at the moment. He probably went out and saw how big of a gap he was running, and I would imagine just kind of log laps there. Tried not to burn up his stuff, so if anybody did come to him late, he'd be able to kind of put the hammer down again as he almost gets that exit that we were talking about.
Yeah, and Tristan Bailey wants that lead back. Certainly not stopping. Under 2/10 the gap.
And they're staying right together. Bailey goes down to the bottom. Be probably about even when they come to the start-finish line. Jordan's still in front, still hanging on. We get squeezed up to the wall just a little bit. Bailey back down to the bottom. Fisher almost into that wall as they carry down the backstretch. Bailey with a little advantage. Fisher battles back on the high line. Bailey slots in behind.
One of the benefits of running that high line is the exit speed. Oh man, Jordan Fisher tags the wall pretty good there off of turn 4. And all of this has brought Grant Applegate right into the fray.
Yeah, these 3 drivers have almost a 2-second lead over everybody else, so kind of set up for them right now. Applegate goes to the high side, gonna try and carry some momentum down the front stretch. Fisher off the wall again. Bailey's gonna take the lead now. Applegate gonna try and get by as well.
Applegate's not about to stop there. He's going to the low line trying to get right around Bailey.
Like Aaron Spear called it a night. And I have been in Fisher's shoes where you make one little mistake and then you try and correct it and you just have to back out a little bit, slow down, and then re-engage. But that is hard to do when you're racing these drivers here.
Yeah, it can be a really tricky thing to take a deep breath and regroup when you're looking at the bumper of the car ahead of you that just got by. And further back in the field, it looks like Fulton and Howell are having a heck of a... Oh, my goodness! Oh, what a save!
Well, you said Fulton and Howell went sideways. That
was a tremendous save. These... It is not easy to catch these cars, Mike.
No, they did so much to them. Made it almost impossible. But you see that dirt car drift there. Randy Meeks is up there almost into the outside wall as well. Dunning's almost inside the top 10 right now, running P13. Other drivers in sight.
Yeah, it's been a hard charge from James Lee Dunning. That's for certain. Next car ahead, if I'm not mistaken, is Kane Lee. Another hard charger who's up 10 spots.
Fulton trying to maintain his position in front of Stewart. Stewart battling back on the bottom side. We have an issue towards the back of the field. Like Michael Carter might be having some connection issues as he has dropped out of the pack.
Michael York, Evan Stewart. Michael York up 13 positions right at the moment.
Oh.
Oh! What a save! Oh my goodness, Mike.
Almost sideways again.
I have to stop mentioning people that you're not looking at because anytime we jump to them, it seems like they're sideways.
That was a heck of a save there by Michael York. Osborne gonna try and take advantage though down on the bottom side.
I'm wondering if we're just seeing some tire fall off.
Well, they're getting close to that pit window. Pit window was 48 to 52, so we're getting closer. Especially with how hard some of these drivers are running, they're definitely going to try and come down probably almost as soon as they can here. I'd imagine, you know, that 48 laps is probably when they'll be headed down pit lane.
Yeah, it's a pretty good way to split it up if you can, roughly, yeah, I guess 45 laps or so.
Yeah, if you think this thing's going to go green the whole way, 45, 45, 45 might be the way to go. But
So it's not, yeah, I think you need to do 46 or 47 to get it there. But if it goes green, wouldn't that be something? These green flag pit stops here are nerve-wracking.
yeah. But at least it's the old Atlanta, so if you come down by yourself, it's not a death sentence.
Yeah, that much is true. That is one of the worst feelings is coming down on a super speedway by yourself.
Driver up into the top three we haven't talked about in a little bit is the Keystone Motorsports Group. Jonathan Dominic's in that 45 machine.
Yeah, Jonathan's up 10 spots. He hit the double digits.
Heard somebody on the radio saying they were going to come down pit lane, so we'll see who's going to blink first here. Jordan Fisher stuck up in the high line. I know he wants to come down and get those 4 fresh tires. Looks like he's kind of fighting it a little bit here. Can't jump down, though, when Furtick is right there.
We got 2 takers coming down pit road. Not sure who I just saw there.
Holtzman and Meek both down.
Yeah, Holtzman was one of our big movers, so yeah, maybe he'll come back out on fresh tires and keep charging forward.
And that's going to put Dunning up inside the top 10 after starting from the pits.
Yeah, that's a huge drive.
I guess not starting from the pits, but starting from the back. Oh, speeding penalties.
Oh, it's so easy to do here.
Alan Holtzman spent 31 seconds in his box, almost 32.
So the pit speed limit here is 50 miles an hour. And we're seeing these drivers, you know, you're coming down the back straightaway 188, 192 miles an hour, something like that.
And it's
You got to scrub off 140 miles an hour, Mike.
Well, and it's hard because of where pit entry is.
Yep.
Let's see if we can go on board here with the 9. Because you can't turn down pit lane until, like, now.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Applegate coming down. Like one of the first drivers from the top 10.
Oh, it looks like Bailey got a little bit slidey there on the exit of 2.
Lock it down, come down.
Bailey's coming down. There we go.
Burdick also down. Fisher down. So just several drivers making their initial green flag pit stop here. Basically, as soon as that pit window kind of opened for a couple, make this race a couple stops.
If you can go, you know, lap 49, go another 49, you'll have enough fuel in case you get a green-white checker at the end. A lot of takers this time by.
Yeah. Yep.
Howell, Burden, Fulton, Roth, Lee, Dominics.
I'd imagine we're going to see everybody else come down. Nope, not everybody. Wow, basically all of Revolution Motorsports is staying out. Ludi, Boughton, Denise, Mueller, all out. Michael York also out. He's with Aeons Motorsports. Going to take it out and lead a lap here. And
So everybody's coming in now.
except for Kent Mueller.
I think, it's the last of our drivers yet to stop. Yeah, hey, go get a lap lead. Why not?
I mean, some of these drivers, that's almost the only way they're going to get that, get a extra point.
Certainly, yeah.
So Tristan Bailey out front. Looks like everybody else was relatively clean on pit road. So we're looking at 44.5 to 45 second stops. So, yeah, you're going to lose, lap and a half if you come down pit lane. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, fast pit stop, it looks like Jordan Fisher, 43.77. So that's attacking the entry and the exit. Yeah, that's a solid second better than most other drivers did it. So you can gain a lot of time on an aggressive pit entry and pit exit, but if you get that penalty, it kind of entirely burns you. You'll be sitting there for a lap and a half. I think it's a 40-second hold, if I'm not mistaken.
it'd have to be something like that because it looks like Randy Meeks was in his box for 54, Ryan McCall for 55. Douglas King
Yeah.
for 56. So, yeah, rough day for those drivers there.
And now you'll see them, you know, they're competing for the lucky dog right now.
Two side-by-side drivers here.
Looks like Jamie Lee Dunning a bit slow on or off pit road. That hard charge that brought them up 18 spots. Now looking at they're up 10 positions. But Kane Lee, he's up 16.
Yeah, and like you said, once they start making green flag pit stops, it kind of spreads everybody out just a little bit here. Back up to Jordan Fisher. Fisher able to get by Jonathan Dominics here on pit lane. But he still has to make up a second and a half to get up to Grant Applegate up there running P2.
But Jordan Fisher's got some pressure from Jonathan Dominics. About 2/10 the gap. And this can be one of those scenarios where, you know, Jordan Fisher pit on lap 48, Jonathan Dominics pit on lap 49. Dominics has the fresher tires in theory.
Yeah, I don't know that one lap's going to make a ton of difference, but still a little bit. Kristen Bailey's last lap was a 30.63. Applegate's was a 30.49. So he's closing the gap. I mean, even Jordan Fisher's was faster with a 30.38. So
I don't think Jordan Fisher can afford to slow down right now. Further back, it looks like Kane Lee right on the bumper of Dwayne Furtick. Looks like making a move. Kane Lee gets the spot.
Kane Lee making that 91 machine work, up 17 spots now.
Pete Walsh working right behind Gary Nash. That gap's under 2/10.
And they're starting to close on each other as well.
That's over the 20 spot.
Evan Stewart back battling with Derek Fulton.
Burdette right behind Christopher Howell. Looks like they're going to run side by side.
They were almost going to go 3 wide here with Fulton Stewart. Looks like Stewart made a little bit of a mistake, lost some ground there to Fulton.
Boughton caught right in the middle of it.
Making his way towards the front, just kind of, he's just been riding around. Who else here? Looks like this is heating up some more here. Jordan Fisher, Jonathan Dominic's down on the bottom in that 45 machine, going to try and make the pass. Not quite there, as Fisher has momentum off that high line as they come down the backstretch. Fisher blocks down low, slides across the nose, and try and drive away here, but that 45 is not going anywhere.
Sometimes you gotta be careful about making that block, because that car behind can take all the air off of the back of yours, and you can start to get real loose coming through these turns.
Yeah, and side by side on corner exit, they got a little tight there, but didn't touch. But yeah, just like you were saying, if you get that air off, it could spin you. You take grip off the tires. I mean, number of things that could happen there. They go back and forth again, swap sides once more.
Looks like there might have been a little friendly bump there. Things are hot between Boughton and Fulton. They're jockeying back and forth, and Stewart's still in the mix.
All three of them swapping lines back and forth. Stewart goes down to the bottom, going to try and drive in. Fulton stays up high.
I know who's loving this battle right now. It's going to be Anthony Ludy and Doug Denise. As Ludy's getting to run away from this battle, and Doug Denise is working his way to this battle. He's pulled in about 4/10 over the last 2 laps, if I'm not mistaken. One of the best sights that you can see out of your windscreen is the cars ahead battling for position and slowing each other down.
These guys are still closing the gap, even with all their battling.
Man, it looked like Fisher was squirrely coming off of 4.
Yeah, I think he probably is. We'll see what happens here on exit once again. Down the backstretch, get a little tight together there. Well, that was a lot better than his last time by.
Certainly was. Looks like Osborne Howell and Michael York are having a little 3-way battle just inside the top 10.
York's trying to get by Howell. Howell's been able to hold him off for quite a little while here, but now York goes to the high line. Going to see if he has the momentum as they come through 1 and 2. I think they're about even side by side. We'll see if that momentum can carry that high line by. It looks like he'll do just that. Kristen Bailey has now caught some lap traffic. Not something Ryan McCall wants to see.
Certainly not. No, you do not love seeing the leader in the mirror. It looks like Fisher and Dominic still close. A little bit of a gap now, but that's like a hot battle.
Yeah, Fisher starts to drive away.
He's gonna send it in there.
That's just what I was gonna say. Fisher starts to drive away, and then Dominic's just like floors it and says, "You're not getting away here," and battles right back, and they're back side by side again. Almost like there's only a few laps to go. That time limit's coming in.
If they're not careful, Dwayne Furtick is gonna catch up to them with Kane Lee in tow.
It looks like Furtick's been managing his tires fairly well this time. His lap time is almost 3/10, well, is 3/10 faster than the leaders right now.
Yeah, Furtick is on awesome pace. So is Kane Lee and Tyler Burden. It's pretty wild to me that it looks like 5th through 10th have better pace than the leaders, the top 4.
I mean, Jordan Fisher's last lap was a 31:27 to Dwayne Furtick's 30:84. So, I mean, Furtick is definitely running a lot faster pace. I mean, but like they say in racing, though, you know, you can catching him is one thing, passing him something else, and these guys keep going side by side. Dwayne Furtick has got to figure out a way to get by.
Dominics and Fisher are both running similar lap times, and they've just slowed each other down this whole second stint by battling back and forth. And the traffic behind is not going to be very excited about getting up to them, because they're going to have to find a way around, you know, two guys that are run side by side. Yeah, the battle of Dominics and Fisher is the proverbial cork in the bottle for the rest of the pack. Because wow, the gap back, all the cars are starting to accordion up together right onto this battle for the 3 spot.
Yeah, we're
working lap 81.
Fisher off the...
Still got some time before pit stops.
Yeah, Fisher bounced off the wall coming out of 2, so lost a little bit of position. Still battling back, though, almost to the rear bumper of that 45 machine. Looks like Dwayne Furtick might have taken his foot out of the gas just a little bit to allow Fisher to catch it there. But now they're single filed out, and they should be able to drive a little bit faster now that they're not battling each other so much.
And hot battle, Evan Stewart, Doug Denise, and Derek Fulton. As we saw before, Adam Boughton looks like he's run away from it a little bit, maybe about a second up the road now.
Looks like Dunning's coming to pit lane. Ooh.
This could be a really interesting strategy for Dunning. Because we know they have more sets of tires than they need if this goes green.
Nice, just moved away from Stewart and Fulton.
Dunning's been at pit road for a while.
Tristan Bailey's been able to make pretty quick work of the lap cars as he comes in contact with them. He's lap 3 since we last looked, and it looks like he's going to lap another one. No, that's going to be lapping Tim Hammond twice now.
Like Dwayne Furtick's all over the bumper of Jordan Fisher.
Yeah, after Fisher hit that outside wall, he has just came back.
Yeah, it looks like Dominic's got away from this.
What's funny, as soon as they quit running side by side, both Dominics and Fisher dropped almost 0.4 of a second in lap times.
I suspected as much. I figured they were losing about 0.3 by arguing with each other about who's going to be in the third spot. As Alan Holtzman come down pit road. Ethan Brooks is in. Starting to see. Oh, and Ethan Brooks scored a speeding penalty. It looks like.
Yep.
Looks like things are heating up. John Osborne, Tyler Burden, Michael York, Kane Lee, and Dwayne Furtick at the front of it all. Osborne tries to make a low line work.
It almost looks like Furtick kind of lost his momentum there, as he has lost almost 0.3 to Fisher.
Well, it's funny, Mike, being that first car to come up on a battle that you kind of get stuck behind, there is a tendency to burn up your tires a bit, being stuck in the dirty air of the cars ahead. So, yeah, maybe Furtick is just trying to manage those tires again.
Minute and a half on pit lane for Ethan Brooks as he got that black flag.
Brutal. Oh, I think Ethan, that's not just a speeding penalty. I think that's an unsafe entry penalty. If you tag the cone on the way in, you get in a lot of trouble.
Hammond out here in front of the battle between Boughton and Stewart. Chris Evans in, Michael Carter in. Battle up here again. York and Lee. As they were side by side. Looks like Tyler Burdette started to get his way back into the fray.
He's been there the whole time, biding his time.
Yeah, just sitting there waiting.
Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Leave a little gap to the cars ahead. You know, take care of your tires and just wait for them to make a mistake. Now we're gonna see a lot of takers on the pit road. This time by or next time by.
Yeah, looking at the way it kind of shook out the first time, you almost want to be one of the first ones in. Ooh.
Oh no!
Lee into the wall.
Oh no!
Dominic scraped the
Man.
infield there a little
And
bit.
Kane Lee had run such a great race.
Well, 45, 91, and 62 all have black flags.
That is... That's devastating, Mike. So Dominic's, Lee, and Roth all serving penalties.
Tyler Burdette just got one too.
We talked about it earlier, how difficult it is to get onto this pit road and get it woed down to 50 miles an hour. And we're seeing it in real time. Just, I feel like half the field's gotten speeding penalties already. So Bailey's in clean, Fisher is in clean, Pete Walsh is in clean.
Now, that is going to be the story of the day after these pit stops is who did it safely.
Yeah. Furtick got it woed down. So did Fulton. As John Osborne works the lead of this race at the moment. Yeah, if your team's on the radio to you, letting you know how many drivers are getting speeding penalties, all you have to do to pick up a few spots is, you know, you can slow down your entry and not have that fast entry that gets you gains you an advantage, but just simply not speeding on pit road suddenly gets you an advantage.
Osborne coming in.
Looks like Ludi up ahead, Doug DeNice. They're behind. So Michael York leading with an over 9-second gap back to Kent Mueller in P2. See how this all shakes up with pit stops. Looks like Tristan Bailey is still your effective race leader.
Right now, if he were to pit, he's going to come out somewhere around P10 or 11. Give or take.
Oh, and man, that transition on the apron is, it looks vicious.
Well, that's why they wound up changing it when they went to the super speedway style and had it clear back on turn 3.
Right. Kent Mueller stays out to get a couple of laps led.
He last pitted on lap 52, so
Yeah, he can go the longest. Mike, I'll ask you, have you ever run a race where you've extended your stint so far that by the end of the race, you were on fresh tires and a relatively low tank of fuel, and you started picking off every car ahead of you, one by one?
I've never done it, I guess, on purpose. usually by the time I do that, I would have, been down a lap or whatever. But then you can just like move through the field, and it's like, man, if I only would have thought about this sooner, this would have been the perfect strategy.
Yeah, sometimes you can just run long stints, and at the very end, you don't have to fill the tank as high. The car's lighter on fresh tires, and you'll be a couple tenths a lap faster than all the cars ahead of you.
And we've called some leagues where they have that where it's you can make it on like one pit stop, or almost make it. So there are some guys that as long as it runs green, they'll pit halfway and then wind up having to come down and short pit with 5 or 10 laps to go, and they'll do exactly that and wind up working their way through the field. But I don't know.
Michael York came back out P6.
Wow.
Man, that's awesome. John Osborne P5. If I'm not mistaken, these were the cars that were running for 8, 9, 10 earlier.
Yeah, they were. But we had 5 drivers.
5 speeding penalties.
Black flags, so.
Oh, man.
Well, I guess with that being said and everybody kind of spread out here, we'll take a break and then come back and finish this thing out. You won't miss anything. We'll go side by side and be back right after this.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
right, welcome back, everybody. Didn't miss anything as we were side by side. Everybody kind of drawn out just a little bit here. Aaron Miller trying to close the gap on Evan Stewart. Crossover for Miller. Starting to get a little action up here inside the top 5 as Osborne and Furtick are getting a little bit closer, but the gap between the top 3 is pretty well set.
The battle for the 4th spot is certainly hot. I noticed back, further back in the field, we had Evan Stewart and Aaron Miller fighting for P11. I think those are the closest battles on track at the moment. Alan Holtzman down pit road.
I mean, for kind of as strung out as this race kind of has gotten, we've had quite a few lead changes. Granted, most of them have been through the pit cycle, but Tristan Bailey, Jordan Fisher have led, over the 100 laps. But we have Kent Mueller, Michael York, John Osborne, Dwayne Furtick, Evan Stewart, and Jonathan Dominics all leading the lap here tonight.
Mike, we've gone green so far, but there is another 20 laps to go. And I think that some of the tire delta, some of these pit cycle offsets where we saw some cars coming down on lap 95, we saw some cars coming down on lap 102. So I think that 7-lap difference, I think that's going to start playing dividends. Michael Carter down on lap 92, as well as Chris Evans on lap 92. I think we're going to see some of these, later pit stop. John Osborne on lap 100, Michael York lap 102, Anthony Ludi, Doug DeNice lap 100. I think we're going to start seeing them slowly make their way into the top 5 contention. Well, John Osborne's already up in there.
I was like, Osborne's in 4th now, but no.
Yeah.
Michael York stayed out the longest. He last pitted on lap 102, so he should be moving towards the right direction here. And the guy who just came down pit lane is not in contention for the lead, but he just put down the fastest lap of the race with the 29.50.
That is properly quick.
Part of the but part of the issue some of these lead lap cars are having is they're hitting some of these lap cars kind of at the wrong time, and they are going 2 or 3 tenths slower. So trying to figure out a way around them without messing up your line and you losing time is kind of what the issue kind of has become here, as DeNice is coming to the back of a couple lap car, or a lap car, but he's fighting Anthony Ludi, who's just in front.
Yeah, that's all part of it, man. And sometimes you're gonna see battles on track. that are being lapped by a battle on track. And so everybody's racing hard. They're not necessarily racing all of each other, but there are multiple battles going on at the same time. It slows everybody down.
Yeah, looking back up front here, Applegate's running in P2. He's 2.5 seconds behind Tristan Bailey, but only 3/4 of a second in front of Jordan Fisher. But there is a lap car in between them, so. That kind of has to make you feel a little bit better about where you're running. Like, you don't have to pressure your car quite as hard.
Looks like Doug DeNice just can't quite get by Anthony Ludi. I saw that gap go down to 0.08 for a moment.
It's like he gets right in that bubble where you start to catch that draft, and then he can't quite get enough momentum to get by while pulling down to the bottom side.
He did a great job wrapping the bottom there. Denise finally gets the job done for the moment.
We're getting ready to come to 10 to go. Biggest movers of the race: Aaron Miller up 17 spots, Osborne 16, York 15, Denise 11, and Carter 10.
And Grant Applegate up 8 to the P2 position.
Coming down pit lane. What happened to him?
Randy Meeks took a hard turn to get over to pit road. And Meeks was one that caught a speeding penalty early on for unsafe entry.
Applegate here has to be loving this view in his rearview mirror of all of these drivers kind of battling for position behind him.
No doubt about it.
He goes by Hammond.
Yeah, love to see a battle on track, whether it's in the windshield or in the mirror.
Tristan Bailey has checked out, though. He is out to almost 3.5 seconds. Going to come to 6 laps to go here when he hits the line. Looks like Ludi's going to be under pressure from another teammate. Go side by side. To go,
Awesome
handshake left.
action on track. been awesome on track.
We've been going all over the place. Several different lines, battles front, back, mid-pack. I mean, little bounce off the wall there for, looks like Fulton. Guess what? Fisher has caught Applegate. The iRacing teammates battling hard here for the podium.
Osborne and Furtick right behind. There's enough time left in this that anybody can capitalize on this.
Oh, Applegate into the outside wall. Still maintains speed there. Fisher's going to get by, but not clear enough as Applegate gets a little shove there from Osborne. And side by side they go. 3 laps to go. 2 to go now. Bounced hard off that wall again. Osborne going to go down to the inside, try and make a pass.
And Osborne's got, a bit of a tire delta on these guys. 3 laps and 5 laps, not a whole lot, but if he took care of those tires, he might be able to get something done.
The second most popular flag for Tristan Bailey. White flag is out. Final lap. Fisher able to get by and start to drive away. Osborne also getting by. See if he's going to be able to clear as they come down the backstretch for the final time. Osborne clear. See if Applegate sends it. Nope. Osborne has connection issues. Coming out of turn number 4, Tristan Bailey wins the big Enos Burdette Waffle Cone Makers 215 from Hotlanta. Like Fisher, Osborne, and Applegate round out the top 4.
I don't know about you, Mike, but I was entertained.
That was some heck of some racing here. Tristan Bailey put on a clinic.
Phenomenal recovery drive from the early wheel spin at the start of this race.
Early wheel spin. Has his grandfather's memorial on the car and brings it in victory lane. These guys get out of their cars momentarily. Teammates burning it down.
Love to see it.
We can get Osborne up here. There you go, Colin.
John Osborne, Colin and Mike in the broadcast booth. How are you doing?
Ooh, I'm very tired.
Oh, congratulations on a P3 finish. I gotta ask, did you expect this race to go green?
I did. There was a little concern that, we have a lot of new guys this season with varying skill level. And so I felt if there was going to be a caution that it would probably be early in the race, and then it would kind of smooth out from there. But honestly, everybody did a really great job all night long. Very proud of the entire league. Adam Kent should be ecstatic that, that we went, flag to flag. It was a lot of fun. But if we didn't get one in the first 10 laps, I figured it would go green the rest of the way. I was just focused. I couldn't pass anybody early. I had a bad qualifying effort. I don't know why. I felt like I got in. Sent it, but it just didn't translate into speed, and so had to start in the back. A little concerned about that, and early just couldn't pass anything. I couldn't make no passes. But just stayed patient. I knew I could probably make up some ground via pit stops, and that did happen. So slowly just tried to make my way forward, and thing took off as the temperature kind of went down. So yeah, great night.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on a P3 finish. Does anybody want to shout out, give a thank you to get you here tonight?
Absolutely. Want to thank my brand new team, Allegiant Incorporated Racing. Appreciate Dwayne and Brian. They're great teammates. Dwayne has been fantastic with helping as far as what we're dialing in for our cars. Week in and week out. Well, I guess it's only 2 weeks, but Daytona's kind of just hold on and hold and hold the gas down. But we communicate very well with each other, and I always appreciate that. Having a brand new team. Dwayne and I have been friends for a while. So we're trying to do everything we can to be front runners all season. So definitely want to thank both of them, Dwayne and Brian. Thank you guys up here in the booth. Appreciate what y'all do, and I thank Adam and Kent for everything they do for ECR. A lot of fun. I hope my dad's watching right now. I'm not sure if he is, but Dad, if you're watching, it was a pretty good effort to come from 20th all the way to 3rd. So definitely want to give my dad a shout out. But appreciate you guys, and hopefully we can rinse and repeat next week. Maybe a couple spots further north.
Excellent work.
Appreciate it.
All right. Jordan, Mike of the booth, man. How's it going?
Good. Doing good.
Well, the initial restart, you wound up basically all by yourself out there quite a little ways. And then from there, you just kind of set sail, had a little, was it tire wear issue that caused you kind of to fall back, or?
Yeah, I've never ran this legacy track before, so I don't really was trying to just searching all around the track, trying to figure out how to save tires. And obviously after I pitted on that first stop, then I was like, okay, well, don't do that. So the second and last run, I was a lot faster. I was actually getting, in faster as the race went on, and, was finally putting myself back to where I actually even started. So, yeah, it's just, it was good notes from today's race, learned a lot, and hopefully can take that to future races here.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that first stint. You learned something, and you were able to capitalize later and get back up there for the P2 finish. You had a heck of a couple weeks here in ECR. How does that set you up for the rest of the season?
Oh, I mean, we're feeling pretty confident. I'm not sure where exactly we're going next week at the top of my head. If I look here, we're actually going to be going Auto Club. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the rest of the season. I think it really sets us up well to really, settle into the season with a bunch of intermediate tracks and one road course obviously coming up. So, a lot of short tracks as well. So we're excited to kind of see how it all kind of shakes out, and the competition's definitely out there. So it's good racing.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your P2 finish. Anybody want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Fish Speed Brakes and continue to put out the best master cylinder brake bias out there for the NextGen fix out there. Anybody interested in joining, don't be free to message me. I want to thank the broadcast, you guys, admins, everybody putting on a great show as always. No cautions in this race, so huge shout out to all the drivers out there. It was a really good race from start to finish, so it was awesome to see. So thanks.
Yep, definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for the fish.
All right, Colin, you're with our winner.
Kristen Bailey, congratulations on winning tonight. Take us through that race. How'd that go for you?
It was good besides the start. Old Atlanta almost spun the tires. I did spin the tires on the start. Thankfully, I didn't wreck it there. I was close. And then I think I fell back to like 7th or something like that. And then I just kind of drove my race from there. I knew that the tires would wear like old Atlanta always does, so you kind of just pace yourself. And once I got pretty much back to second, I kind of paced myself. Slowed down. I was just watching Jordan's line. I could see him getting tighter and loose off the corner, so I just kind of paid my time, and I just ran the bottom, got by him, and then kind of just tried to check out best I could, because I knew that if I can get a little bit of gap here, even if they short pit me 1 or 2 laps, I should be either right there with them, or they might be a little bit further than me, which it kind of seemed to work out each time, because I think Grant would pit 1 lap or 2 laps earlier than I did, and I'd come out about the same second-wise between us.
Well, it looked like a phenomenal recovery drive from the wheel spin start from where I was watching. So congratulations on the win. And is there anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks for getting here tonight?
Yeah, just want to say, I love my mom for she was watching, because obviously my grandfather passed away tomorrow, 2 years from tomorrow, and then my grandma's watching. I think she is. I have no idea. And then my team at Aeons, and you guys for broadcasting it, and Adam for having the league here.
Well, congratulations on the win, and maybe we will be seeing you here next week.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. That was a heck of a race these drivers put on, and we'll see what they can do when we head west to Auto Club. We'll do the race results real quick here. Kristen Bailey, Jordan Fisher, John Osborne, Grant Applegate, and Dwayne Furtick round out the top 5. Michael York, Christopher Howell, Doug Denice, Adam Boughton, Anthony Ludi, Evan Stewart, Aaron Miller, Derek Fulton, Michael Carter, Kent Mueller are the top 15. Pete Walsh, Chris Evans, Jonathan Dominics, Brian King, Gary Walsh, Gary Nash, sorry, the top 20. Tyler Burden, Ryan McCall, Christopher Roth, Tim Hammond, and Alan Holtzman round out the 25. 26, Ethan Brooks, Randy Meeks, Douglas King, Kane Lee, Jamie Lee Dunning, and Aaron Spear round out the field. So with that, anything you want to say before we get out of here, Colin?
Hey, I had a great time. I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are going to put on a show when we head to Auto Club. But with that, from all the drivers of the ECR Next Gen League and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night. We'll see you next week at Auto Club.